Tom Pidcock is an incredible rider, and we're going to get into 5 times that he shocked the cycling world. Starting off with number 5, Amstel Gold Race 2021. Now it's crazy to think this was 4 years ago. It was Pidcock's first season with the team Ineos. Now the race was full of attacks, but Pidcock rode well and found himself coming into the last kilometre with Wout van Aert. The race was to finish in a 1v1 sprint between the two riders. Now Wout van Aert is a big and powerful rider, so the way Pidcock performed was incredibly impressive here. But what happened next was incredible.
Clear, opening up a small gap on Tom Pidcock. Schachmann was distanced with about 75 metres to go. Pidcock tried to come round the Dutchman, lunged at the line. So close, difficult to call.
It was the closest finish in cycling history. It was basically impossible to tell which rider had won on the photo finish. First they announced that Pidcock had won, and then later Wout van Aert had won. Now I think Pidcock won, but that's because I'm a little bit of a Tom Pidcock fanboy. Comment down below who you think actually won that race, even though Wout van Aert got awarded the victory. Now for number 4, Strade Bianche 2023. The reason this was an incredible result for Pidcock is because he went solo with 50 kilometers to go, an incredibly impressive move. He attacked on the downhill on the gravel section using his superior cyclocross skills to gain a gap. That was basically it. He managed to sustain his gap all the way to the line, even though he only won by 20 seconds.
Won the men's edition of Strade Bianche before today. 5th place here a couple of years ago for Pidcock was their best effort. He was on the verge of making history, and as he came into Siena and the Piazza del Campo, he knew it was his. Cyclocross world champion, Olympic mountain bike champion, and now winner of Strade Bianche.
Now number 3, the Alula Tour 2025 Stage 4. And part of the reason this makes the list is because he just joined his brand new team at Q36.5 and he's already performing on the road at an incredible level. So in this race there was a very steep climb towards the end, steep but short, and Pidcock took charge, taking the front, dropping Eddie Dunbar, Adam Hatherley. Now while the competition wasn't too high in this race, it's an early season race, one of his first with his new team, and he absolutely dominated. He topped the climb with 8 kilometers to go and a 26-second gap over 4 riders behind him. But with 8 kilometers to go, it was flat to the line, and Tom Pidcock was tasked with the almost impossible seeming task of holding off 4 riders working together. And that is why it was so impressive. He managed to hold his gap, and while it was very close by the end of the race, he held his gap, securing GC victory at the Alula Tour.
300 metres to go for Tom Pidcock. Well, what an escapade it has been. Tom Pidcock, tremendous, wins stage 4 of the Alula Tour.
His first win of the 2025 season with Q36.5. And this incredible form makes me very optimistic about what we can expect from Pidcock this season and with Q36.5 moving forward. Comment down below what you think he can achieve with his new team and in the 2025 season. Now on to number 2. Stage 12 of the 2022 Tour de France, Pidcock had an incredible day. He attacked with around 100 kilometers to go, doing a downhill attack from the peloton to catch up the breakaway. Now this descent that Tom Pidcock did was crazy. Now you can see the skill difference between him and the other riders as he overtakes them. Pidcock even dropped Chris Froome on this descent, who's around 10 kilos heavier than him. Now on this single descent he caught and passed the entire breakaway. Now he actually had to wait for the breakaway to catch back up because there was a long flat section after the descent that he wouldn't have been able to do by himself. The breakaway made it together onto the final climb, the Alpe d'Huez. And from there, Pidcock was just by far the strongest. Because of the energy he had saved from attacking so well on the downhill, he dropped them all. He rode the final climb, most of it by himself, winning atop the Alpe d'Huez.
It's early in the road career of Tom Pidcock. Already a mountain bike Olympic champion, a cyclocross world champion, now a Tour de France stage winner on one of its most famous finishes.
Now on to number 1, the Olympic mountain bike race in Paris. Coming into this race, Tom Pidcock was the favourite, and by lap 4 he was leading. Then on lap 4 he got a puncture. This set him back massively and he lost a lot of time and had to start coming back again. By the time he caught back up with the front, it was the final lap, and as soon as he caught up Victor Koretsky, who was in first place, he attacked Pidcock, putting Pidcock under a lot of pressure after just expending huge effort to catch back up after his puncture. Well inside the final kilometre, it was Pidcock's final chance to get round Victor Koretsky. Coming into a thin single track section, Pidcock saw his opportunity. Koretsky left a small gap and wasn't going quite fast enough, and Pidcock dive bombed that gap. He almost crashed making contact with Koretsky, but managed to get his front wheel ahead just in time. Then he accelerated hard and held the gap to the line. Now in my opinion, this move was perfectly reasonable. He managed to get ahead fair and square, and he didn't push Victor Koretsky off his bike. Now some people disagree, some people think he actually should have been penalised for this. Now many French fans weren't happy. Pidcock just beat out a French rider for gold in Paris with a controversial move, and he actually got booed by the crowd as he came to the line. Now I think this was bad sportsmanship and Pidcock completely deserved that victory, but comment down below what you think should have happened. Should Pidcock have been penalised, or did he deserve that win?